So, Rhonda, thank you so much for being an awesome client. And I love talking to you about everything that you've learned and all the ahas that you have for yourself. How did you hear about me and the work that I offer?
My daughter, Savannah, lives close to you.
Hmm.
And because she and her little girls experienced a lot of good benefit from working with you, she suggested that I see you when I came to see her last August.
Hmm.
Prior to that, I had fallen in March. I broke my wrist. I had to have wrist surgery. I just recovered from that. And then my dogs and I got attacked by a feral cat. So I had to do that whole rabies protocol, take strong antibiotics, and I really did not want to do that. But when they told me I didn't have a choice if I wanted to live and my life was on the line, you just come to it. So I did what I had to do. And as a result of that, I was just feeling very insecure and not balanced and not grounded and not confident. And so I knew I needed to do something. And I've done energy work in the past, but I didn't know who to go to or who to see. And lo and behold, if you didn't live 10 minutes, about 10 miles or 10 minutes from Savannah. So
Yeah.
thank God. It's like God gives us the tools that we need when we're ready for them.
So, what specific improvements or changes have you noticed in your life since we've started working together?
I'm stronger, much stronger, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically.
And what's the definition of grounded?
To be present here now and in this moment.
I love it when you guys do your work and it's just so amazing to watch. It's like, wow, they're doing it. And as we've learned, right, we all have the ability to do this. It's just we forget, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how has this work impacted your ability to handle challenges and obstacles in your life?
It's given me the power and strength to put the challenge or to minimize the challenges, to cut the cords and the attachments to those challenges, and to move forward with peace in my heart, being calm, um, just having a positive outlook
Yeah.
on life and
So
not being burdened and weighed down with all those challenges.
yeah, we about was it a week ago, a little bit ago, we had an experience with a peaceful picture.
Ooh,
Would you mind sharing a little bit about your aha?
sure. I think it started with guilt, the emotion of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And the emotion opposite of guilt is peace and serenity. And Kim put up this picture of it was a sunset on
Yeah,
the ocean,
yeah.
and it was beautiful. And I was supposed to see the peacefulness of that picture, but all I saw were the dark clouds. And Kim said, "Why are you focusing on the dark clouds and not the peacefulness of the picture?" And I said, because I live close to the Gulf of America. I shouldn't have said that.
It's perfect.
But anyway, we have to be very aware of how quickly storms can come up. And Kim said, no, there's more than that. And just like that, I had a flashback of one time in my 20s when I was fishing on Lake Erie, which is a very shallow lake. And a storm came up, and there were like 40-foot swells. And we were on a commercial fishing boat, and the guys were actually bailing water out of the boat. And we really did not think we were going to get in. So then Kim puts up this picture for me to look at this horrible storm at sea. And I actually got sick to my stomach instantly. So you had me close my eyes, and you just would tell me to take little glimpses of the picture, which I did. And I don't know, did it take me 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes to get work through that? I don't remember exactly, but it that was pretty powerful.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, well,
And we had worked with storms before that, Kim,
yeah, each storm has its
and
own
I
story,
never
doesn't
even
it?
thought of that one.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
each storm has its own story,
Yes.
And we're only able to release as much as we're strong enough to release.
Makes sense.
So that's why it's so important for you to continue, your homework on your own. And occasionally, hey Kim, I'm a little stuck. It's time for a little tune-up. All right, let's go. Let's go even deeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like how many times I've seen you, like one-on-one sessions
Hmm?
since I first saw you in August. I'm not sure if it was 10 or 12. I don't know. I don't really know. But yes, in those first few times that I saw you, I really appreciated your kindness in reaching out to me afterwards, because some of the healing sensations that I experienced weren't the most pleasant.
Mm-mm.
But I remembered when I was going through those experiences, no pain, no gain.
uh, Not exactly,
So,
right?
huh?
Not exactly though, right?
Well, I don't know. What I was thinking of, I was benefiting from your work, even though I wasn't feeling the greatest.
You were
And I
benefiting
knew
from
I
the
was going
work.
to feel better when
Yeah,
I got through it.
you were benefiting from the work, but we also kind of discussed that you were fighting against the work. Yeah. Remember
Uh,
when your
I
headaches
don't
would
even
come up?
remember that.
When your headaches would come up, you're not giving yourself permission to let go, to heal. And once you started doing that, it's like, okay. And we could let that excess energy out
Okay.
because
So I had thought it was just,
you haven't had one of those headaches. I mean, I think last week when we worked, you got a little headache and then it all went
yeah, it
away when we
disappeared.
brought that
Right.
attention to it. Yeah,
So you know what? You want to know what my perception was?
please.
I just thought that I was ready to explode when I first saw you, and I had so much releasing to do that my body was just like, "Woo!"
Yeah, that'll happen. Definitely. And that's why I
But it
always
was
make
worth
sure
it.
that I call you guys the next day, make sure you're in a good way. And if not, then I'll do a little work with you to help you percolate
Yes,
whatever came up and got stuck.
yes. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I remember that one night, even after doing a group Zoom healing session, and during the session, I started to burp and burp, which is a sign of releasing.
Hmm.
And then I got warm. And then I got hot. And then I got sweaty. And then the next thing, I'm chilling and I'm freezing cold and I'm getting goosebumps. And you called me right after the session and told me to take a hot shower. And I think you told me to take that homemade electrolyte drink.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And
sea salt and lemon and honey or maple syrup
yes,
is a good thing too.
yes, I
Yeah.
really like that.
Good. It's quite refreshing.
Yes, it is. I have some right here.
Awesome. I just personally go straight for the salt.
I like this drink better, but I
Yep.
do the salt sometimes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes you need that boost real quick and don't have time. I tell people it's kind of like if you've ever seen the movie um Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when he puts the lemon hat on there and gives him a lemon and he gets back. Same but
Oh,
different.
yeah.
Cool. So if someone were considering working with me, what would you tell them about your experience and the value you've gained?
Well, I really, my healing journey began like 45 years before seeing you,
Mhm.
but you were the absolute best miracle healer I've ever worked with.
Wow.
You're very perceptive, you're very insightful, you're kind, you're caring. Um, your energy is amazing, and you can read us and you see what's going on with us when we don't even have a clue what's going on, and you draw our attention to it so we can cut those cords and let them go. Yeah, and you're funny, and you're a no nonsense type of guy, and you get right to the issues at hand.
Yeah.
And in revisiting our past in all of our emotional junk, is not pleasant,
Hmm.
and it's very heart-wrenching at times, and the tears can flow, but yet it's very releasing and very rewarding. And I just thank you for being there and helping me get through that. And another thing, you are extremely motivating. The fact that you told me a couple of days ago that I'm going from 10 crunches a day to
Squats.
3 sets or squats, excuse me, I'm sorry, going from 10 squats a day to 3 times of 30 squats a day. I thought, you are crazy. There's no possible there's no possible way this is going to work. And it worked. And I'm not sore. So
which
it's
is
like,
which is mind blowing, right? Because when we work out, oh, wait, back in the day when I worked out, if I wasn't sore, that meant I didn't do a good job, right? And
yes.
now I work out, and usually I'm not sore. There's been some things recently, the bump to my head that I think actually facilitated the soreness of my workout, but it's all gone today. And because I've healed the head thing that I experienced a month ago, it's like
Mm-hmm.
everything has changed about my life. So I'm actually grateful that I hit my head
Mm-hmm.
because it brought up some things in me that had not been healed in the past when I was healing my head. And so much is changing for me. Like I was saying, I think you were on my TikTok live last night. I'm actually able to listen to audiobooks now and
Wow.
and understand them, which is awesome because now I'm going to be able to learn so much more, so much faster.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you started your healing process 45 years ago. What experiences? I know you're biting at the bit to tell me.
Well, if you want me to start from the beginning, I was
Sure.
born premature with a collapsed lung. And right after I was born, my other lung started to collapse. So they instantly baptized me and put me in an airlock because I wasn't supposed to live, but here I am. And because I did have a challenging start to life, it seemed like my whole childhood was, I just kind of struggled. And I had feelings of sadness and frustration because my siblings and my friends all got to go do all this fun stuff. And what was I doing? Going to the doctor, going to the doctor, going to the doctor. And every Wednesday, I mean, this went on for a long time. I got a strong antibiotic shot. And on Saturday mornings, I was going back to the doctor for vitamin shots. But again, I survived. I made it. And then I went to nurses training. And I don't know how many times we were told to only follow conventional medicine, to never ever um, do anything holistic or naturally because it was all hocus pocus. It was hogwash. That was a money making scheme and scam. And I wondered why we kept hearing that, but now I know why. So in my 20s, my early to mid 20s, I was really struggling again. And I went to all these specialists, and I was really beginning to think I was losing it. But all these specialists said, basically, you're a strong, healthy young lady. You're just going through a phase. You're soon going to snap out of it. You're soon going to feel better. And instead, I was just going down, down, down. And I felt like I was trying to grip onto this well-greased pole, and I couldn't stop myself. I was just picking up momentum going down until I crashed and burned, basically, at the age of 25. And so then it's like, well, what do I have to lose? I was told to never ever go seek alternative health, but I need help in because the medicine and everything like that was not helping. So I went to see this orthomolecular doctor,
Is an
and he,
orthomolecular doctor.
what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what he did. He treated people with a lot of supplements. I even did chelation therapy when I was in my early 20s or 25. I know. And I drank fresh carrot juice 3 times a day with crushed up liver pills and enzymes in it till I was orange. And I mean orange. But I was getting better. So what could I say?
Right.
So, and from there, oh, so anyway, the first thing he did for me or did to me when I got there was this glucose tolerance test that's supposed to last like 4 to 6 hours. And it lasted an hour and 15 minutes and I passed out because my blood sugar elevated so rapidly and then it came crashing down even faster. And after he brought me back to with IV therapy and a bunch of other stuff and got me stabilized, he asked me, "Were you a colicky baby?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, then you were born premature with breathing problems. And that's when I should have seen you. And I would have given you liquid enzyme drops even as an infant." And he said, "You would have had a healthy childhood, healthy teens, and you'd be healthy now and you wouldn't be in here seeing me." And on
I'm
a
gonna have
scale
you
of 1 to 10, he
I'm gonna
rated.
have you hold there because in this whole story, there's been no emotion until this moment. So do yourself a favor and release all of those what ifs, could be's, and maybes and mights. Because you learned a lot from your childhood, right?
Right. I
Okay.
have tapped so many times doing all this. I'm surprised I haven't released that.
It's just a little bit, but
Okay.
you could hear the change of your voice,
Okay.
right? If I wouldn't have hit my head ever, I
Uh-huh.
might not be here today because
Right.
I would have followed through with my old plans
Uh-huh.
and I would have been miserable. I would not have found or been shown massage therapy and led me on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
If I had not gotten married, Willow would not be here.
Right.
So beautiful. So we're gonna do a little work with your heart.
Yeah, I feel it
With
right here.
that story, yeah. So give yourself permission to let your heart out, releasing all of those thoughts you've been holding from that moment that he said. And it's interesting. He said, "Were you a colicky baby?" But you didn't say everything else, all the other crap that you dealt with.
Yeah, right.
No, I wasn't colicky.
Yeah.
we 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 get stuck on these one words. No, I didn't have this, but I had this other list of ailments and everything that I had to do that
Mm-hmm.
would like addressed. There you go. And a little bit from your abdomen. Good. So in the future, if you're ever telling anybody a story, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel charged, okay, I got a little more work to do that. It and remember, we've got lots of layers. And then if anybody that you're talking to is telling you their story and you feel a charge, it could mean that their story is resonating with something you have not healed yet. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're attacking us, which
Yeah.
a lot of
Right.
times we think, right? Oh, I feel like crap with their story. Stop. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be nice to stop. Or it'd be even better if everybody was open to, hey, there's emotional charge with your story. Do you mind if we tap together?
Yeah.
How awesome would that be, right? So great. So yeah.
You wouldn't
Um,
believe, like when I first started thinking about this interview and thinking of different things. I mean, I haven't thought about a lot of this stuff in a long time, and I was crying because it was just bringing it all up. And I thought I had dealt with it,
mhm.
but I really hadn't to this depth.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So,
glad that we scheduled this because that it gave you a chance to work even deeper within yourself. Yeah.
yes, most
Yeah.
definitely.
So always remember when something comes up, no reason to be angry. It's a reason to work on it.
Hmm.
Just a different layer. It's like hitting my head a month ago. I thought that I had healed my head so much where a bump to the head wouldn't make that big of a difference, but it impacted me greatly.
Um,
But I'm glad that it did because actually, a medium just called me from my live this morning, or she sent me a message, hey, a lot of stuff just came through, would you mind if I shared it with you? And that she's been following me for 2 years, right? So we've talked a couple times. I'm like, yeah, sure. Woo! My future, as long as I take care of myself, is looking really bright. Everything
I
that I've
can
been
believe
working
it.
for in the past year
Uh-huh.
is in the works. So, and one of the things that has put it into the works is that Impacted Ahead has made me study the brain so much more
Wow.
and developing my niche. So the people that I'm supposed to be working with in the future, not this one-on-one stuff, but
Hmm.
doctors and stuff to get a better understanding of the brain and concussions
Hmm.
and TBIs and PTSD and whatever comes up is going to be huge because we have
Wonderful.
we have complete control over our ability to heal. We do. Joe Dispenza is proving it,
Hmm.
but we lost our way. We've
Right.
been led down the wrong road, and it's time to come back down and then get on that
Hmm.
right path
Right.
so that we can, as you keep saying, so we can ascend as
Hmm.
we're being asked to.
Right.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I feel very positive about the future too.
Great.
And I feel like all of these experiences that I've had have have helped prepare me for this time.
Yes.
And even like that doctor telling me, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate you 9.8 in severity, and I'm sure you have a pancreatic tumor and blah 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 blah. And then after that glucose tolerance test came, my brain was so fried. I couldn't even write my name. I couldn't do anything. And then I had that out of body um, near death experience where I was up at the ceiling looking down on my riddled body.
Wow.
And I felt so much peace and love and the warmth of the heavenly light. And then I was asked the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to go back or do you want to go on?
That'd be a hard question to answer right there. It's like, it feels so good here.
I know. And then I said, I want to go back because I'm young and I have a lot to learn. I did not realize how much I had to learn. Oh my goodness, but I made it.
Yeah, you made it and you're thriving. But also remember, you mentioned it just a minute ago, all that stuff that happened helped you learn, right? But you
Right.
could have decided to not learn from it and only dwell in the negativity of the experiences and not come out the other side positive and airy and optimistic. So
Yeah, that's,
pat yourself on the back and say, you know what? I did it right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful.
that's awesome.
And I'm so thankful God connected me to you through Savannah.
Thank you. I'm glad I actually set up at a farmer's market again. I will not be doing it again here in Gardnerville, Nevada, but for the sake that I have been able to work with you in Savannah and with the work that you're planning to do in the future, that's going to help so many other people. And then with the way that Savannah is, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, you
yeah.
guys are just going to take the work that you learn, make it your own, and hey, whoosh,
Yeah.
it's cool, so
I
cool.
feel like coming.
Yeah, it's coming really quick, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, feel the tingles. It's like, yeah,
Yes, yes, my whole
right over his
body right
doorstep.
now. Yeah,
Perfect.
and that first time when I worked with you and I was so resistant to the tapping,
Mhm.
and then you helped me work through that by tapping with me.
Mhm.
Um, and I really didn't feel the tingles a lot then, but I sure feel them now. And I'm glad I know what they mean. Like my body is just releasing those blockages. And it's a wonderful feeling. So every time I get the tingles, and sometimes I'm not even doing the work, as it were, and I'm starting to feel the tingles. And it's
And
like,
that's
oh,
because you're
goodness,
starting
thank you. Huh?
and that's because you're starting to always do the work. just because you are not tapping does not mean this is just the beginning. The tapping is only the beginning of, okay, this is what I can do. And then
Mm-hmm.
as you reach more and more clarity, you can think about, oh, that's right. I was fearful in this moment for this oh, holy, it's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's more tingles. It's like it doesn't have to be hard. My daughter,
Mm-hmm.
she worked on herself last week. Usually when I pick up my daughter on Sundays from her mom's, we go to the grocery store so she can get what she needs for her week of
Mm-hmm.
school. And usually it ends up with some tears because she's stressed out having not been helping herself because she's
Mm-hmm.
very sensitive, right? More so than, well, I don't know if more so, but she's starting to get stronger than I am. But that freaks me out. Not really. I'm very proud of her. But I called her last week and I go, do you need to do your homework? She's like, no, I already did it. I'm like, oh, no, not your school homework, your homework. She's like, oh, yeah, I did it on the bus. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I wanted to do it in a populated area to make sure I could keep my shit together. I'm like,
Yeah. Wow.
so freaking cool.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we didn't even have to, last night when I picked her up, we were happy and having awesome conversations in the grocery store. Anytime I asked her, do you need this or what do you want? She just told me. And
Uh-huh.
I question, it's like, oh my God. So I'm so
Wow.
grateful to have learned everything that I've learned and done the work for myself so that I can teach my daughter
Mm-hmm.
how to take care of herself in the, as they say, the neurotypical world. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
soon, it's not going to be a neurotypical world. It's going to be a friggin' crazy world filled with a bunch of crazies who all know how to communicate together. But all the crazies, the neurodivergents, they need to learn how to release the angers and the depression and the sadness and all that kind of stuff. I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching these podcasts about neurodivergence, and there's so much anger coming up. It's like, okay, guys, you're not helping your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I understand that totally because I was angry back in the day. And if I being neurodivergent might be being able to feel other people's energy, because that's not a normal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're afraid of feeling others' energy, that means you're going to be afraid 24 freaking hours a day because that
Mm-hmm.
energy is all around us all the time and you will never become true to yourself
Right.
as you're finding within yourself. This is me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
truly releasing that darkness that I've been holding on to inside, which is possibly a reason why you were so resistant against the tapping at first, because I don't want to deal with this crap. Love and light, right?
Right. Yeah.
In order to for the love and light to come in, that darkness has to be released.
Yes.
It's like Darth Vader. It's like the dark side of the force. It is powerful and easily manipulated, and it's easy to be angry and afraid and sad.
Mm-hmm.
And when we work on it and release it, it feels so much better to be happy and to be loved. But we have to continuously work on happy
Right.
and love because the darkness can take over as soon as you flip that switch.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm
Yeah.
just so thankful for the love and peace that I have in my heart right now. And it just keeps getting richer and richer and better. And
That's
not
awesome.
that I'm free from, 100% free from struggles because I'm not, but I know how to deal with them now.
Yeah, you're dealing with
So,
them while you're happy.
right.
Like
Yes.
freaking amazing
Yes.
feeling, right?
Yes. Yes. And then, when I was out there in like a month ago,
Mhm.
and when I hiked that 6 miles into the mountains, that was a real confidence booster
Yeah.
because I was afraid for the last couple of years to even, well, maybe the last year and a half, to go because I was afraid I was going to fall off the edge of the mountain. I was lightheaded and I was kind of dizzy and not grounded. And so that was another awesome experience.
Yeah, and that shows what you've done with your breathing too, because you live at sea level, and
Mm-hmm.
we're
Well, that's
five,
true.
depends on where you're at in the mountains, maybe even 7,000 vertical feet. For somebody who goes hiking the mountain from sea level, that is hard. And the fact that you did it and there was no fear and you didn't lose your breath or
No, and I was
energy,
by myself, and then people said, "You went by yourself?" And I don't know, maybe it wasn't the best thing. Normally, Savannah would go with me, but
there's nothing wrong with hiking by yourself.
no, I felt good. I was glad to be
Exactly.
out there.
I'm sorry that you guys are afraid of doing things by yourself, but I felt good about doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it felt wonderful. Looking forward to doing it again soon.
That's so awesome. How's the legs
Okay,
doing?
they don't hurt.
Wow, that's awesome. That's better than me because I did a whole crap load of squats the other day. Woo, I got out of bed next morning. I'm like, oh my God.
No, last night when I did it, when I started doing it, just last night, and again this morning a little bit, I felt my knees. So I stopped and I tapped, and then I continued without my knees hurting. And my muscles are not sore.
That's so awesome. I love to hear that. And make sure that you're looking at pictures of the muscles, right?
Yes, you told me that, and like the nerves.
Mhm.
And I haven't done that yet because I looked for my anatomy book from nursing school, and I guess I got rid of it. And I know I can go online, but
Yeah, you can Google it.
yeah,
And the reason I ask you to do that also, not just because seeing the nerve pathways and tapping to release them, but also realizing there's way more muscles than just the quadriceps.
okay.
We've got the hamstrings, which are extremely important. So if we're only focused on the quads when we're squatting, the hamstrings might not get the strengthening that they're asking also, which can create imbalance and
Mm,
possibly a pain in the knee,
okay.
as well as the adductors, as we know, is really
Uh-huh.
important for core support, right? So a lot going on that we can learn
I'm
from.
learning a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap this up because I feel like your energy's a bit depleted. So make sure that you sit down a bit, maybe do a little tapping when we hang up, drink your drink, and that way
Okay.
you can enjoy the rest of your day and maybe go knock the pickleball around, huh?
Yes, I want to.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a million, Kim.